It's that time of the offseason when we like to rank everything. So why exclude the coaches? Let's bring on Jesse Simonton, coaching insider here at On3. And Jesse, this week you ranked the coaches in the SEC. I'm not going to lie, right off the top, I see some controversy. You have Kirby Smart ranked in the #1 spot above Nick Saban, the longtime king of the SEC. So explain yourself to all the angry Bama fans right now in the comment section below why Kirby is ranked above Nick.
This isn't a Lifetime Achievement Award, Josh. This is a what have you done for me lately business, and Kirby's the reigning two-time defending national champ. Last I saw, he beat Nick Saban in the national championship game a year ago. He then lost 15 guys to the NFL draft, a record, and he turned around and he won another natty. And you know, they're the favorites to three-peat this coming season in 2023, despite losing quarterback Stetson Bennett and a host of other NFL first-round picks, whether it's going to be Jalen Carter or Nolan Smith, Darnell Washington. They've continued to reload in recruiting. It's no shame that Saban's slightly behind, his former pupil. And there's a good chance that if he wins, the SEC or even a national championship, he'll leapfrog and kind of reclaim his crown at the top of the sport. But for right now, Kirby Smart's 47, and it seems like he's kind of on the ascent. Nick Saban's 71, and we'll kind of see what happens in 2023 and beyond if he can kind of retake that, throne.
All right, Bama fans, if you agree with Jesse, comment in the section below. And if not, comment as well. LSU, Brian Kelly checks in at #3 here. What did he do last year at LSU that was better than what Josh Heupel did, who checks in at #4, in beating Bama, Florida, LSU, and Clemson?
Well, I think what's kind of fun about these rankings is that everybody can kind of weigh, different metrics or what they value the most. For me, I think you kind of balance both the longevity, but with also, again, the what have you done for me lately and the expectations. And so a year ago, Brian Kelly was replacing 40% of the roster at LSU. He was not expected to contend for the SEC West, and he also went out and beat Alabama. He did win a division when he was – again, the expectations were low. It was bowl games, 7 or 6 wins. They get to 10 wins. That's something he's done 14 times now as a head coach. I like Josh Heupel a lot. It's no slight on him that he's the 4th guy. He was one of the biggest risers in my rankings. And we'll see. I don't think it's a flash in the pan, but he's now had one really good season, at Tennessee in his first 2 years. What can he do in 2023? I think LSU has all the makeup of being a national title contender this fall. I think Tennessee, is going to maybe recede a little bit to that 9 or 10 win type season. But with Nico, Joe Milton, those fun quarterback battle happening in Rocky Top, we'll kind of see what happens.
All right, guys, before I ask Jesse who is the most overrated coach in the SEC, do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. We're here all offseason covering coaching, recruiting, and all the latest college football news. Subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. Jesse, who is the most overrated coach in the SEC right now?
Well, if you took a look at my mentions after this piece dropped, they would say that I overrated Shane Beamer and Mark Stoops. But to me, I think there's a bigger case for obviously Jimbo, just because he's never won 10 games. Jimbo Fisher, he has a national championship, one of just 3 coaches on this list to have a national championship. But he hasn't won 10 games at Texas A&M, obviously on the heels of signing what was then the greatest recruiting class in modern history. He goes out and wins 5 games. It was a disaster season, and he's getting $75 million guaranteed if that happens again next fall. And so I think he has a case for this spot, but I think you could also make a similar case for Lane Kiffin. Lane is a great coach. He's flexed his, muscle in the portal. He's, self-dubbed portal king, but he's a guy who's only 14-10 in SEC play, and he's never finished the season at Ole Miss, first couple seasons, by beating a team in the SEC that finished with a winning record. That's not great for a guy that's being paid $9 million annually and just out-leveraged Auburn for Ole Miss. It's become one of the highest-paid coaches in the league.
Hey, it's a cutthroat league, the SEC, and you always got to prove yourself. So who do you think on this list has the most to prove next season?
Again, I think Jimbo, that you could slide his name in here. But I think to highlight a couple other guys, Billy Napier down at Florida, disappointing 6-7 season. It started off great. You beat Utah, the Swamp's rocking, but then the very next week you lay an egg against Kentucky, and it's been pretty much downhill ever since. The offseason's only been worse with the Jaden Rashada saga, which again, wasn't Billy Napier's fault per se, but that's just kind of a leadership vacuum within the entire football program. And so when you add the sheer amount of departures, all the coaching turnover, again, some instigated by Billy Napier, but it's just been a very messy year one in Gainesville. So he needs to bounce back because Florida is not used to these losing seasons back-to-back for the first time since the 70s. They're in danger if they fall back again in 2023 of really becoming kind of just an also-ran in the conference. When you take a look, the fact that Texas and OU are joining, what the rivals in terms of Alabama, LSU, and Georgia are doing right now. Big 2023 for Billy Napier. And same, but with fewer expectations, I'd say, Sam Pittman at Arkansas. This is a guy who was lauded by the league the first couple years. He's a great coach, CEO-type instructor, not putting his fingerprints, but letting his coordinators do the work. That worked the first couple years, and Pittman was really big on continuity, character, and team culture. That all grew stale last fall. The team chemistry was not good. Staff chemistry was worse. So what does he do? He basically overhauls his entire staff. Arkansas is going to have 2 new coordinators, a bunch of new position coaches, and a bunch of new faces on that roster. We'll see how it works out.
All right, Jesse, it was fun to go over your SEC coaching rankings. You going to do the other conferences as well?
Each week, every Monday at On3, I'm going to drop the coach rankings for every Power 5, and then we're going to finish with a top 25. So this will be a fun little 6-week series or so. So be sure to check out at on3.com.
Yeah, and we'll have you back on the Coach's Corner to talk more about those. Thanks, Jesse.
Appreciate it, Josh. Anytime.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.